Guys, welcome back to the channel. You see it. Getting ready to go do some fishing this morning. It's getting cool. The weather is changing. That's exciting because that means the fish are finna start coming back shallow. They've been out there in 97,000 foot of water all summer long. Coming back up shallow here very soon. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring back something we haven't done in a long time. It's the what do you see? We're gonna actually go through and break down what we're seeing on the perspective mode. Now with the LVS 34, wow, the detail is amazing. It's, to me, it is very, very close to how good 360 looks. So let's take a look at this now. We're gonna break it down. We'll have some, we'll have a lot of, video, a lot of things pointing to different things in the videos. So let's go. All right, this is the LVS 34. The first thing you notice is a huge brim bed right here on the left. It's in front of some cypress trees that are on the bank. You can actually see the brim swimming in it. If you do want to know, I do have my noise rejection on high in these images. It gives a better picture, but it also slows down the returns, which is why you kind of get that milky look when you turn it. Because the refresh rate's a little bit slower. What you're seeing right here is actually a bunch of larger beds. They're kind of older beds, but they're a lot of the larger beds that we see. Now in the top left-hand corner, you'll notice these smaller bright returns right up under the depth right here. That is actually like a shell bed, like mussel shells and things like that. The real bright returns, you can actually see the really you can almost see the tiny shells in there. Now you'll notice some fish swimming around here with some nice shadows. One thing that I noticed, that when I see bass in particular, when I see their shadows, you don't see a very large shadow return. But when you see what I would call, say, a trash fish, like a carp or a gar, their returns of their shadows are almost perfect. You can literally see the tails, the dorsal fins. A lot of times I've even actually seen the holes where the eyes are in the shadows. That's why fish identification, is, to me, is so important, that you learn what you're looking at in these things. When you see, crappie and bass, the shadows on those fish are not as prominent. I can't tell you the exact reason for that. I wish I knew the exact reason. I'm sure somebody smarter than me actually knows that exact reason. I think it's a lot to do with the body buildup of it, the body makeup of the larger trash fish, the large scales and things like that. And maybe, has something to do with that. I notice when I'm in forward position, those things, help identify crappie and bass versus trash fish. But if you look right now, we're just going across the bottom. This is a mud bottom. This is a typical Louisiana mud bottom. And you'll notice the dimples here and there. Now notice that big, huge fish right in the middle. See how you can see his fins, his body? Trash fish. Know that from a fact. And what I was saying, you see these dimples occasionally on the bottom. Now this is a common thing in the southern states where you have mud bottoms. And what it is those, it's almost like that's where the bubbles come from. When you have the turnover, you'll start to see these dimples, or they kind of look like beds all over the bottom as the body of water is turning over, and the thermocline turns over and things like that. Now right here in the middle of we have a beautiful log, but you notice that fish hanging around that log right there on the backside. That's what you're looking for. I mean, those are the type of things you're looking for with perspective mode. It's not quite 360 quality, but it's dang close. I'm gonna tell you, and I've had a lot of experience getting on the water with guys who have the 360, and I'm gonna tell you that it's really, really close to the 360 in terms of that. 360s maybe, of course it doesn't have the stitching problems that you see right here. You're always going to see stitching problems, but the 360 isn't live either. Now coming up on the upper right hand corner of the screen, you'll see it, a huge brim bed. Now this one doesn't have brim in it, kind of like the other one did. Now right here in front of us we have a dock. Now you can see the dock now actually going back to the brim bed here. It's just so much to see and so much to learn. All right, guys, what do you think about that? This is one of my funnest things that I used to do, and I haven't done these a lot lately. We're going to start doing these again as we start to get shallow and we start to get into that shallow cover, grass, gravel, and things like that. Let's go. Hey, remember, ring the bell.